Let's go. We are live with Let's Talk About Web3, episode 13. I'm here with Ohnahji B and EZ. How we doing today,
Sir,
folks?
good, man. How you
Doing
guys?
pretty good. Hot. It's hot. I am coming in live. Just pulled off the freeway in Bakersfield, California. It's kind of like, no offense to Bakersfieldians, it's kind of like the armpit of California. I've been to Bakersfield before. When I was like a teenager, I had a girlfriend that lived down here, and we come down
Yeah,
and visit her mom. And yeah, there's nothing really going on. I'm like in a shady spot outside the Arby's, and just glad that there was good service and I could jump in. Just left LA this morning and on our way to some camping up by Yosemite. But yeah, always got to make time to talk about Web3.
nice. That's what I'm talking about.
Awesome. Well, let's start out with our gratitudes of the week. I'm gonna shoot it over to Ohnahji B to start us off. How we doing this week?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. LA is on tsunami tidal wave watch, all kind of craziness. So I don't know. I'm just grateful for community. I'm grateful for you know I think the LA community, we don't really take too many disasters super seriously like we should, but once it's like, times to kind of bunker down and help other people and share resources, help people out, like the community really bands together when it's time to when it's go time. So yeah, I'm thankful for community, especially out here on the West Coast for sure.
Nice. Dang, I should have tried to link up. We were only in LA for like a day and a half. I am super grateful to be able to like be on this road trip. And the main reason we came down to LA was so that Jose could play at Campus Jax, where Tim from Jax Jazz has been piping in the most amazing jazz into the metaverse, into the Token Smart Discord for years. I had come down a few times to help host the digital end of the first Crypto Jazz Fest and then the second Crypto Jazz Fest. Hopefully there'll be another one at some point. So, these were 21 and 22. So it wasn't easy to like pack a place with like people in crypto that are into jazz, but I think it's got some legs. It's just kind of ripening. But yeah, it was amazing to have that possibility for him to come and play at like such a prestigious place. The sound was epic, other great musicians. And so yeah, just grateful to be able to kind of be on this adventure. And we're heading up to Yosemite. So that's going to be another really, really awesome couple of days. Yeah.
That sounds amazing. I love that. This week, I'm grateful to be here with the two of you guys, with everyone that's here in the chat. I see everyone chatting in over on Ohnahji's stream. Thank you all for joining in. I'm happy that Easy is back in town with us, with two of his amazing friends. Seeing his journey, their journey in person together has been a blast. So yeah, I'm just grateful to have been able to experience that. Yeah, I think it's good to be here. Good to be here with the three of us. A little more of a casual episode this week as we get ready for our guest next week. Someone who's been hosting Farcaster Spaces, super deep into the Farcaster ecosystem. So kind of a real deep conversation about some of these conversations we've had about this new social network. So I don't know. What do you guys want to chat about this week? I feel like there's a bunch of things coming out in the news, this, that, and the third. There's like something personal to me that like I think is huge for like the collectible world that I'll share, but it's like maybe less so with the crypto space at this current exact moment. But yeah, no, I think there's a lot of cool things going on. So I don't know who wants to hit it first.
Well, there was something interesting, like not so great, but it actually turned out pretty well yesterday on Farcaster. The QR mini app basically got hacked. It was only their messaging key. So somebody was able to get their messaging key and send a DM, like your alert DMs that you get or alert messages that you get, and when you click on it, it actually took you to like a fake duplicate version of the QR mini app, and it was for an airdrop of like 10 million QR or something. I was literally running out the door of the hotel when that came in, and I'm like, QR airdrop? Oh, heck yeah. So I wasn't in like my right state of mind to like take my time, and I was just like, oh, QR airdrop, yeah, I want this, boom, boom. Didn't even really look at the transaction closely. So super bad move on my part. I'm lucky that it was only like a $3 charge. And but the team was just incredible, super fast. They got together with the Farcaster team, figured out what had happened. I guess refunded everybody the transaction fee that they had paid for those fake tokens. The tokens were sucked out of your wallet, and they were able to patch that. And then there's been some talk and, you know, some great posts. Actually, Peachy had some great info and insights on that, to be able to make sure that people that are building their own mini apps are securing their communications. I guess if you're using the Nanar kit, then it's built in. And so there's like an extra couple layers of security there, but a lot of people do their own. So that was just interesting to learn about, interesting to sort of go through. I'm really glad, like I said, like usually I'm really careful. I read everything in the transaction. That's how they get you when it's from a trusted source and it all looks legit and it's coming from the right place. But then there's something a little miss. Like if I had been paying attention, I would have been like, wait, that's weird. And I wouldn't have just done it right away. I would have like tried to check up on it a little. And that's the advice I would give anybody. If something kind of sounds too good to be true, or it's out of the ordinary for like an app that you interact with, don't just go ahead and grab that airdrop. Go over to the main page, make sure there's either, you know, if there's a pinned cast about it, then you can make a comment and be like, oh, this, like, you know, is this legit? Or talk to a friend, you know, ask somebody if you're newer, ask one of your friends that maybe is, you know, a little bit more seasoned. So yeah, that was super interesting. And then the guy tried to turn it around and he's like, oh, I was doing everybody a favor. I just want my bug bounty. And I'm like, no, that's not how it works, man. But yeah, so interesting little turn of events there yesterday in the Farcaster mini app ecosystem.
Interesting, man. Yeah, the scams and the phishing schemes and all those different things, they're ramping up like crazy. You know, in my email, I'm seeing a bunch of stuff from, you know, unstoppable domains and OpenSea, and of course, you click the actual address, the sender address, and it's nothing near, you know, close to what the actual company is. You know, Coinbase emails. So definitely slow down. That's one of the huge tactics, especially when, you know, the market starts ramping up and energy starts ramping up. You know, people get you going. One of the taxes is just get you going fast, and it's airdrop season. You get in or you're gonna miss out, and then, you know, you'll see your whole wallet's wrecked, right? And
another warning that I saw today, just like an hour ago, was that there are DMs going around for a fake invite to the base app. So that's another one to like have a heads up on. If someone's like, oh, I have a invite, click this link and you're going to get on the base app. I'm not exactly sure what the link does, but it's something bad. So, you know, double, triple check. There's not like people giving out willy-nilly freaking invites to the new base app. I signed up on the wait list. I'm still waiting for my email, my legitimate email to come in and be like, okay, it's your turn. So yeah, that's another thing definitely to keep an eye out for.
Yeah, that just those extra seconds that it takes to go in, dive in, and do a little bit of extra research, you know, will save you, you know, that much headache in the long run for sure. So I know it's sometimes, you know, it's a hassle, right? Sometimes we'll miss out on some amazing 10x, 100x plays because we're slowing down. But that one time you don't do those due diligence, take those due diligence steps, and you get wrecked. It's like all of it was for naught, you know? So yeah, 1000%.
And most of the time, although we dream, those 100x's are like, you know, 1 in a million. Like it happens, but like it ain't worth risking everything else that you've built up. So yeah, it's always better just to be super like slow. There's no like, if someone's pressuring you, like you got to do this now in the DM, and they're like, it's gonna be gone in like 30 seconds. Like that's not legit. Things don't work like that.
100%. I think that's like the biggest thing in the space is understanding that, like B said, slow down. That's the first step. And then the second thing is if like anyone's pushing you to do something urgently, to like take a second look, right, with someone else. I think those are two amazing pieces of advice for general internet security and safety and hygiene, right?
It's just unfortunate also that we're starting to see those kind of tactics and things like end up over on the Farcaster ecosystem. It's like, it's unfortunate, but it is
Bound to
what it is.
happen.
Bound to
Yeah,
happen.
with the growth, it's like bound to happen. And then when, Bitcoin and Ethereum and like BNB and Sol, when all these things are sort of going up and you've got like a positive market, that's when, and then you have mini app craze on top of that in Farca. So, and then you have base app dropping. So like there's all these, it's like a trifecta of like, good things. And that brings out the tidal wave of scammers. And so, yeah, you got to be extra careful.
I'm sick of all these tidal waves. Easy. No, I'm just kidding.
I know. I just want a nice slow ride up.
Too funny. Too funny. I mean, the only other thing on my radar, guys, that was taking all the attention on my timeline was all this Zuora stuff and the creator coins. And it seems to be like the massive wave of people, found that. So, yeah.
I bought some DGen. It was only like $10 worth of DGen and another $10 worth of Zuora. Just, I'm looking, I'm watching, I'm going to be buying little bits here and there because with all this action from Base App as well as Farcaster using Zuora token, there was like, I just minted my second Zuora post coin, whatever, because there was a contest running. So I'm like, oh yeah, I'll jump into this, maybe get a little, like they have a bunch of OP to give away to people. Like the more interactions your post gets, like the more part of those rewards you'll get. I actually hadn't barely looked at my Zuora, and then I got on the other day to make this, and it's like the EZinCrypto, my like creator coin market cap said like $50,000 or something. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? I had one token that I listed. Like this has got to be something like that's not the liquidity. It's not actually, I can't like get 50K from that or something. But it's interesting just to see people are speculating and people are buying and trading and selling all these new coins, different opportunities. So it is like it's exciting. It's super interesting, and it can be sort of overwhelming at times. You see numbers like that and you're like, wait, am I worth that? Or like, what is this? And so, yeah, you got to always kind of, I think, take a breath and be like, okay, don't freak out. Just like kind of keep doing what you're doing, keep creating, keep, branching out and meeting people that you can collaborate with or just have a good conversation with. And you slowly, organically grow it without like, falling too far into the hype cycle. That's when you get got.
1,000%. What are you doing over there? Easy, mine's only at like 18,000. Yeah,
I did one post. It was called Easy Money. It was a nice little token looking thing. I don't know. I have no idea. I was shocked when I saw that. I was like, wait, what?
That's funny. Yeah, Zora's been definitely the talk of the town in the Wave Wars spaces over the last few days. Mumbo's been going really crazy on the collecting side and been actually pushing a completely different like aspect of this space that in Zora that I haven't seen in a little bit because I've been around a lot of creators. So it's been like creators complaining about it for one reason or another. But I think consumers actually can really like this because just like Farcaster liking and sending money and tipping through a like, this is very similar to that, where when you
I think I lost him. Oh, there you go.
Okay, there we go. When you're on the feed and you double click on it, like you like it, you're buying it actually, and you're paying 25 cents. And it's very like set up that way as opposed to Farcaster where you're like opting in. The whole ecosystem for Zora is like Instagram, but likes or buys. And I think it's cool because then, once you buy, you can comment. The highest person on the coin might be able to have that pinned comment, which is pretty cool as well, that I know we talked about a while ago. I think there's a lot of challenges. I mean, I've seen on the timeline a couple different people who didn't mean to have tokens that just because they logged in, they automatically had creator coin created. So there are definitely challenges with it. And then like going back to that Farcaster conversation, one or two of the first people that I was trying to onboard onto Farcaster were like, okay, but like, what about hacks and scams in like the ecosystem? And I didn't really have a good answer for like anything other than like, okay, like the team will look into it and like censor it, but on like a client level and not a protocol level. And that's like a whole different conversation, right? But like even on this, just like Farcaster app client, it's like, okay, how am I supposed to know that anything out there is legit? Like, right, is the app trying to verify that? No, right, because it's a on your own, do your own research kind of mentality. So really understanding, just because we are on this social media app doesn't then automatically remove all of that. So I'm actually
One,
working on the back end here to get this pods episode ready and airdropped, and I think I can test that when we are ready to show and share that, when we're off the news a little bit and more into let's talk about Web3 stuff. So I just wanted to put that out there as well. So
nice. One thing that I will say is that the Farcaster team does have something in place, so you can't do an exploit that would take like all the coins, and that's partially why probably this QR hack was only able to do, a single token and a small amount. Because if you are trying to, do some sort of large across the board wallet drain, they have things in place so that transactions like that won't go through. And they do have, like, you'll see sometimes you interact with a newer mini app, or maybe it's on a chain that hasn't been around as long. Celo, for example, still has the warning that's like, our security services can't work with this. Like, only do this if you trust the app, which always makes me basically stop. Even if I like really want to do it and I do trust the app, I'm like, yeah, I just don't feel comfortable after reading that. So there are some protections in place over there which are good, but there's definitely still plenty of risk. So yeah, I think, for people that are newer and they want to get involved but are worried about that, there's definitely channels that you can go into, Web3 security, what's like police or scams. There's a couple of these channels that you could join, and that way you can kind of be up to date. And anybody in those channels, I'm sure, is more than willing to like hop on a call and talk about, how to navigate securely. And that mostly means just not doing a bunch of crazy stuff, and focusing on like your creating of content, and maybe using some of the well-known established mini apps for games, or if you want to I don't know, do some kind of swapping and staking and stuff. There's a lot of legit stuff out there.
yeah,
So that's cool to hear that Farcaster has that in place. I didn't know that, but it makes sense, and that's an easy thing to pretty much implement. Like all the wallet drainers and stuff, all the token siphon things out there. All it is like you signing a contract that's saying this, I'm giving you the ability to take all of the coins out of this different contract. It's like there's no real like actual use case for that to be implemented. So yeah, that's a cool thing that Farcaster can just be like, we don't need that. There's no need for that. That's only used for draining people's wallets. That's cool. I didn't know that. So shout out to you, Easy. That's dope.
yeah, that is really interesting, huh? I like that. I like that. That gives me a good answer now to come back to an individual like that, where I can answer at least an answer and a place to learn more. So I love it. I think yeah, is a really interesting
It's
conversation. What did you say?
So it gives you some peace of mind.
kind of
Yeah,
peace of
100%.
mind that even if you did mess up, it's like whatever, if you're spending soul and you interact with something that is nefarious, maybe they can get your soul, but they can't get your ETH and your USDC. Yeah, so there's no real legitimate reason to give somebody access to a bunch of coins in one transaction. So yeah, they've been able to basically make a across the board like stop for any type of contract that would try and do that.
100%, 100%. I think it's cool to see slowly. I found other people I saw on a podcast. Someone today was saying, 3, 4 months ago, to onboard someone, a creator, a new creator into the space, it was a challenge because of this, that, and the third. And now, onboarding a creator right into the base app on the Farcaster ecosystem can leverage that creator into using all of these tools all in one place. So that I think is a huge like plus point that we didn't even have 3 months ago, right? That like we actually do potentially have a place that, I mean, right now the three of us don't have invite codes to the base app, but like in general, right, like that is place where people can be onboarded and see the power of, Zuora, Base, Farcaster, all of these things all in one in the Base app, right? So I think it's going to be a cool place to be able to showcase like the beginning of the Web3 journey for people. And I think that'll really help people get a little bit more of an understanding of like the broader ecosystem and things that connect just naturally in different hierarchies, right?
Yeah, it feels really powerful to have a protocol that is used across different social media. I know we've had Lens and other things, but it was a different time in the cycle, less maturity. Like now we're to a place where there could be, right now you can kind of like double up if you're in the base app. Everything is going on to both platforms. They have the tokenized or coined casts over there, or coin posts over there, which anybody, a million people could buy part of that through the coin. And then on Farcaster, you've got the one of one NFT style cast. But there could be some other, there could be another social media platform that's built using the protocol, and they could have a limited edition, and there's only 10 of the posts available. So like, there's a lot of cool, stability, but also like fluidity in having this protocol.
It's actually a good idea of just like doing something that's more of a limited time thing. So it's like the first people to the content can get to it, as opposed to like auction most people with the most money. Could be a cool thing to implement. So no, I'm excited just like seeing more people develop more of these tools and mini apps and just more places for creators to leverage their skills, right? And I think that is why we're all here, is to help support creators leverage their skills and help build tools to get them there. So I think pods.media, what we're now leveraging for tokenizing our podcast, is a really good form of that. For us three here being content creators right now, we're able to put this podcast up as a token, as we're talking about all these things, and anyone across the world can buy it for $2. And a portion of that goes to pods and a portion of that goes to our wallets right there instantly. So that is something that wasn't able to be even around a year ago. So shout out to pods. Super excited for everything we're going to be able to continue growing over there and keep on cooking up. I'm excited to see how we start to leverage Let's Talk About Web3 in a couple different ways. I would love to bring a workshop into Let's Talk About Web3, so we can put it just the like workshop portion on the website for like a tutorial for the future. So something like that as a portion of the podcast would be really cool. And I think maybe one of those being like creating your first wallet, right? And or even just like onboarding yourself into Farcaster might be a good one, right? Like how joining like from the start, like joining with your X account to make it free, and then like seeing starter packs that are out there showcasing some of these initial tools that you can check out when you're first on the app could be another cool tutorial. And honestly, it might be best for us to bring someone in for that too. So I think some of these like workshop style things could be really cool, especially if we like market and promote towards that, since we'll have a little bit more planning ahead. So now it's starting to move stuff to the Charmverse, getting caught up on these pods episodes. Now we got 13 out, and we'll get caught up. Hopefully, I'm gonna just spam them all up this week, and then hopefully that means we can get peaches out the next day for next week. So that's the goal. That's where we're at for Let's Talk About Web3. I don't know if you guys down for us to showcase some of this tech and share screen?
Oh yeah, for sure. Something
Absolutely.
that popped into my
Yeah,
head
go
when
ahead.
you're talking about getting the website going is, if that, once that's kind of developed, boom, mini app and Farcaster. Let's talk about Web3 mini app. And then from inside that mini app, you could access this stuff. You could go boom, right in mini app and purchase a pod episode. Like, that's the cool thing about how people are working together. Pods has it set up so that you could use in mini app without having to even leave. You could purchase an episode. Of course, that needs to be included into the build, but they have that basically set up. I know a couple of other mini apps. I think GM Farcaster does that, or they're adding it, and maybe Betterment, or a couple people are using those tools that are available. But yeah, Ohnahji, go.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's pretty impressive, like how big this base ecosystem is getting, right? And the base chain, and you have mentioned one of my faves. I was really rocking heavy with Lens Chain and um, you know, uh, Orb and Hay and that whole ecosystem, right? I loved it. I loved it just because they're pioneering the decentralized social as well. I think they just had a hard competition in Farcaster for one, and being built on base, and all the other apps just being built on base along with them, like the Rodeo. It's like they had to compete with the marketing and market share of all of those different conglomerates together. It's like, dang, but and then having the switch over from Polygon to their own lens chain, that rendered everything in limbo for a long time. So it's just like, but they had some really cool tooling over there too. It's like,
I think that goes to show you, though, right? Like that exact definition of like the first to do it and innovate usually isn't the one to succeed, right? Because they get through all of the R&D challenges, and everyone else gets the benefit from that, right? So I think that's really cool. To hear that. I remember Lens. My first and only hack so far, knock knock, in the space was for a free Lens protocol profile back when that was like a hot commodity. So I totally understand it, and it was interesting over there checking it out. And it's been cool to see how other now decentralized socials have brought it out. But I saw Louis in the chat, so it's good to see you in here, first time chatter. And yeah, I think I would love to showcase how easy it is to just like drop some of these episodes to someone that could be halfway across the world. I think that'd be maybe a cool like little mini workshop right now if you guys are down, because you might not even know this because you guys don't run the pods. So here we go.
Put us on game.
This is our pods dashboard here, where we can check out all of our different episodes. So you can see we're on episode 13. We got episode 7 out now, so you can see I'm 5 or so behind, which we'll get done this week. But what's really cool is we have this episode here, episode 7, that we did with Will T. He was a phenomenal guest, and it was an absolute blast. So one of the things I want to do for Will T is give him an opportunity to share this in his network. So one of the things I can do is I can go over here and I can click airdrop episode, and I'm just going to send him 20 of our episode. So I preloaded actually a CSV with the account for Will T, and added 20 tokens to that. And it says here, one address, 20 tokens. And let's see, I haven't actually done this part yet, but we'll see how easy it is.
Loving it.
There
So
we go.
This is
transaction.
This is pods.media. That's all built on the base blockchain. And these tokens you're attaching our YouTube episodes, right, to these to the blockchain, which is pretty cool. So people can collect up the different episodes and hold those as some tokens, some mementos, and all kind of things. And as we grow, hopefully
There we go.
will grow too.
It's there. Let me share again. Sorry, wasn't sure.
It's super cool to have.
So yeah, you can see right there. It went from 2 to 22. We just sent 20 right over to Will T for him to share with his community. So it's that easy. And it's really cool because now if we go in here, I wonder, okay, yeah, I mean, that makes sense. But yeah, so it'll be a really good way of being able to give something from the episode as a like, okay, most of the time during a live interview, there's not much that can be done after the fact. Okay, people can listen to the recording, people can do this, people can do that, but we don't know that data, right? Like we don't know who's listened back to like this or that, or most of the time that data is not shown. So if someone's listening back to something on pause and they're like, oh, I like this so much, I want to collect it, that's a really cool additional distribution lever for after like post content, right? So it's been really cool. to leverage pods. I'm really excited to continue using it. Like that was a one-click thing. I think
Awesome.
I think I also tried out in this last week Hypersub. I guess I can show you that. It's still a little glitchy on my screen, so like I'm not 100% sure. But maybe it's better on Ohnahji. My dashboard doesn't work, but my profile does. So I guess I can show that. So I created a little hyper sub this week. Zal.eth, a little BetterCallZaal subs here. And it's very simple, very easy. Oh, maybe not. Okay, that's what I thought.
And essentially,
Well,
for chat,
okay.
this is like a blockchain or crypto related subscription model, right? Because we're all on
Yep.
Twitch, we know how the subscription stuff work over here.
Exactly. Well said. Yeah. So it doesn't look like it's been fixed yet. I've reached out to the team and they're working on it. But it will be really cool to be able to create a Let's Talk About Web3 subscription that we can do that is potentially less than purchasing all of these podcasts in a month, and be able to airdrop just like we showed you guys there to all of the subscribers. So I think ways like that where we can use these new rails to monetize that community in a different way, for me, is like the really cool part about this ecosystem, because that I feel like is what makes us a little bit more unique than the average podcast. So like that's one of the things where I'm going for personally. I'm a big, and I know these two are as well, like experiment, break things, and move quickly kind of people. So we're just excited to try things out. We're excited to now try out this new method of like sharing these podcasts with our guests. And it's awesome to see all of the amazing folks popping in. Maybe we'll do a couple specific workshops geared towards new folks in the space. But yeah, I see Shaw popping in as well at the end here. So yeah, it's yeah.
Something something else really cool about pods is because it's on the blockchain, you can see everybody that's holding those. And obviously on the pod site, it shows like the first purchaser, the second and the third, and the highest holder. If someone like buys a bunch because they just want to support, or they want to give them to some friends because there was something in that episode, they're like, oh, I know so and so would really like this. I'm just going to grab one and send it over. Well, we can then see that, and like I have collected pods before, pretty regularly, and had, like everybody who had collected more than three of, I think it was the Mars, the Matthew and Rizzo show, they sent like, an NFT, or you could do a token drop and different things to the people that have been watching and collecting. So it does give you sort of a database of your like, hardcore listeners, which is, it's really dope. So there's a lot of like different things you can do with that versus YouTube. Like maybe it shows you like your peak views and like how many people tuned in, but it's not like so and so was really into this. Like if you're buying the pod, we know like, oh, you really liked this episode, or you missed one and you purchased it because you've liked other episodes. So there's possibilities to connect with those people further or reward them for collecting. So yeah, it's really dope to be getting all this set up.
Amazing. And then hopefully we'll start integrating it into the greater ZAO ecosystem as well, with some of these other tools like the Hats Protocol and Charmverse, and all of these amazing platforms that are out there. But the really cool thing is finding the way to build your own platform. Excuse me. And that's what we're working on in all of our different ways. I know us at the ZAO, we're working on Wave Wars. Hurricanes really continuously pushing that. They're going really hard with the media game right now. Absolutely freaking killing it. I'm upset because I didn't bring the merch today, but I do have a piece of merch, so I will bring it next week to show off with Peachy as well. And yeah, it'll be a blast. I'm stoked. Like, there's a lot of cool things that I think are coming, and it'll be really cool to have a place to have that conversation. I think, and also to lead folks that are interested into this. Okay, like if I see someone on the street and they're interested but they don't know where, I'll be like, okay, hey, tune in on Wednesday to our Let's Talk About Web3 show and get acquainted there, right? So I think there's a lot of cool places that we're going, and it'll be interesting to see where this takes us in the upcoming months.
Yeah, and for having Peachy on next week, like, bring your notebooks, because like massive amounts of information from like the Dune queries that you want to know about, how to check like which people that subscribe to you have like interacted with a post in the last week or the last 30 days. Like there's just all this data that people have created around this protocol, and Peachy knows it like inside and out. As well as very up to date on the news of what kind of new features and things are coming, and exploits, just like super tapped in. She hosts the State of the Union on Mondays in Farhouse, and that's where I've probably learned the most about everything from the leaderboard to like mini apps to how to use these Dune queries and find out information about your own account or about your followers, the people you follow. So that's going to be a really, really dope episode.
1,000,000%. Are you guys ready for my collectibles?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Always.
So,
You know me, collectibles guy.
yeah. So my favorite retailer just announced that they are officially going live with this. It's called Push Start Arcade, and it is by the GameStop company, and they've created this unbelievably good flywheel of creating. I don't have access to this beta right now, and I'm really upset. I've been spamming the Ethernet right now to try and get it, but they've created this place where you can join in and essentially buy different power packs, just like trading card packs. I believe right now they have Pokemon and football. So you get these cards, and these cards are stored in a vault. So they're digital cards, but they have an actual physical card that's there. So people can actually trade these cards. Okay, here we go. So this is what it looks like. So you have multiple different types of packs that you can buy all the way up to $1,000, and you can choose Pokemon or football. And in that pack, you're guaranteed to get different cards, and you can potentially immediately sell them as well. They take a 10% fee if you immediately sell it back, and I believe if you sell it on secondary after immediately, it's like a 6% fee instead of 10. So you can pull like some of these cards and immediately be able to sell it back. And as a company for them, it's really profitable, and they're able to do all of this because of the fact that these are all digital assets of physical assets. So they can be shared essentially just like a digital asset, but can also be redeemed for a physical asset if that individual wants it. It can also be sold on eBay, but not have to worry about shipping and all of these other like things that come along with like physical in real life hardware of anything. So like to me, this is like a huge level up for collectibles. They're partnering with PSA, so like these can be graded as well. They have like a lot of cool things coming, it seems like, but I don't want to talk about too many things that I'm not 100% sure, even I haven't done enough research into, but this is definitely something that I wanted to mention because it's something that I've been invested in for the last 5+ years. Maybe not 5+ years, 4+ years. And it's definitely like one of the few places that I truly believe that there is good business happening. And mostly because the CEO of this company is taking $0 in compensation. So he's not taking these, multiple figure million, compensations while the company is barely profitable, right? So that is really cool to see, and he's put a lot of his own money into it, and like sees the turnaround in going from a dying brick and mortar store to a digital assets retailer. And it's absolutely insane to see like the growth and everything that's coming. And this is also with $9 billion in cash and Bitcoin. So yeah, that's like it's going to be always my bull case of the week. So like my bull case of the year, my bull case of my life personally. But yeah, that's my like, I can finally confidently say like people are ripping open packs as of yesterday. Like this was announced 2 days ago. It's been tinfoil for like a year and a half in like the subreddits and stuff. So for me to like now be able to say all of this on a podcast with confidence, like, is really exciting, and to just like be able to continue to showcase more of the digital asset juggernaut that GameStop is going to become is going to be exciting. And yeah, not a lot of people in Web3 really know about the whole story. So whenever I meet folks that do, it's really interesting. So my whole X feed now is GameStop stuff. Yeah, I just liked a couple things, and the algorithm completely changed. Plus, like, so many more people are posting about it too. So yeah, it's interesting. I don't know if you guys have thoughts on that. B, I know we've talked a lot about it, but this is like you can see tangibly, like, this isn't just like some, some hype thing that doesn't have precedence. It's like people just spent however much money yesterday, and that's like the profit margin on that is insane because it's digital collectibles.
And that's the perfect, like, when people say like, oh, we're early, we're super early. You know what I mean? This is the perfect dive into real world assets, even if it's just starting with like something that makes sense as collectibles, right? We've already had, collectibles that were just purely in the digital realm, but now, backing it up with assets that actually exist out there. That's the next play in real world assets. And people have been, dabbling in it and talking about it for a long time. It's pretty cool to see, a juggernaut like GameStop to kind of, reinvent themselves and step into this, this emerging tech space, especially because we know how the quote unquote retailers, they die off, they don't innovate. It's like, it's cool to see this one was almost at the verge, but they're like, nah, let's play, let's innovate. It's exciting to see.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, like, it's really hard once you get to corporate to become like agile enough to transform with trends, right? Like, once you get to a certain scale, it becomes impossible to change because you have to change the whole organization to do that. So like, finding ways, I think this is like one of the most important skills for like Web3 founders, but also Web3 startups, is like the ability to have an agile team of like, okay, these three people are working on the core product, and then now we have like these miscellaneous people that work on different things. But if on a whim there's an opportunity that arises, these people, can mobilize and immediately start attacking that, right? That vector, and hopefully, because it's so new, attacking it at a faster pace than other people are, right? So the ability to be agile is so important. And I think that's like what you said right there, is like, how do we, or one of my biggest questions has always been like, with like business, is how do you scale an organization but also keep that like inner culture that creates the organization, right? Because at a certain point, once you scale to a corporate level, you can't just have this like, man, I'm going to kick it to the man type attitude, because like you become that, right? So it's like, if you come into it with that like attitude, what's your end game if it's not this like corporate juggernaut? How do you splinter that off? And I think it's really cool how every single one of us, of the three of us, do that differently, right, in this space. So yeah.
I mean, I think that GameStop has an interesting story, and they have learned to kind of like take a hit and keep going and be agile. And I think especially in Web3, you've got to be able to pivot because the markets move so fast. Tools are created, platforms go down. Like, you've got to be really flexible and fluid, and be able to also react to your community quickly and change things up. It's like, when you're talking about how like once you scale up, it's hard to change. Like, that's the same thing. I think with DAOs, is once they get really big, how do you hold that core vision from the beginning? So there's interesting kind of overlaps there. That looked sick. That little promo you played, my God, that was dope. The arcade game opening up,
Right? Yeah.
like, dude, that had me already.
My friend
I'm like,
sent it to me,
I want,
and I stopped it because I was like, I want to stream this, and then he was like, yeah, bro, I like tried to get the beta key and I don't even have it. So it's like, what are you waiting?
Yeah.
Like, so I was like,
Yeah.
damn, like I can't even like do this, right? So I'm like,
But
yeah, I'm foaming at the mouth right now at this.
real world assets, that's going to be a huge thing. And it makes a lot of sense to start with trading cards. Those were the OG collectibles. So then, you know, we have a pretty good run now, 5-6 years of digital collectibles on the blockchain. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they're using a blockchain on the back end just for their own management, to be able to know, okay, where and what warehouse is this card? Because that's the other dope thing, is that you can buy and sell trade cards without having to like deal with, like you said, the shipping or damage or anything. But the buyer can always then say, okay, I want this on my wall, get it straight, it's fresh, like it hasn't been sent around in trucks and a UPS and a super interesting business model. And I think there could be huge success there. Yeah, there's a market.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, this is like the perfect they've now executed really well on blockchain vision, where there's not blockchain infrastructure in the front at all. I don't even know if they are NFTs technically. I think they are in some form, but I think they're more centralized, right? They're not like just like on any chain. But like it's cool to see how they've executed like that, everything that people want to do with Web3 products, but without the tech, right? And it's like, if you can create and cultivate that, that's the hard part, right? Where it's like creating this, like the experience, the UI, everyone's having fun gambling on the timeline. Like that's crazy. People are like really excited about this because it's like, a lot of people are getting valuable cards that they're keeping. A lot of people are getting valuable cards that they're selling and then immediately buying more packs, right? Like, it's really dopamine inducing, not gonna lie, right? But like, I mean, it isn't gambling in and of itself, right? But it's really cool to see like this next level of value being formed of like, okay, what can we do now with digital assets, of like this ability to like, okay, I bought something. It's not like now I bought it on eBay, I need to wait 3 weeks for it to be sent to me. Now I need to list it. I need to wait a week for someone to buy it. Say less than a week. If I sell it for a little bit cheaper, then I have to send it to them, wait for them to like get it for like the funds to actually come to my account, right? And like that whole process is cumbersome because of like that physical element. So changing that to have the physical element be always redeemable, but it doesn't need to transact through the physical realm to move owners, is insane. And I'm just excited that GameStop is like, no one, like they did, like I was onboarded through the GameStop wallet and the GameStop NFT marketplace, which both, like we've said this a bunch, both closed due to regulatory situations at the time. That was 3.5 years ago now. Like anyone could have leveraged themselves. Like I think Courtyard's probably doing the best at this, like real world assets for cards. But no one leveraged themselves well enough for, it's like, to be honest with you, I already feel like GameStop in one day has a good market share of that specific category. Like, and that to me is what's nuts. It's like no one capitalized in 3.5 years on like that space to the degree. And now GameStop, a juggernaut with a lot of money, with like its whole business surrounded by it, being able to jump in that space and basically kind of like be a big fish in really small waters and just like eat it up, in my opinion, market share wise. So that's also why I'm really excited, because like it feels like no one's successfully figured out that space yet, and I feel confident that GameStop could do it. So yeah,
I think a lot of companies are going to be watching them and seeing how this goes. When it comes to like the supply chains and the, just the storing and transferring of goods and things like that. So it's exciting. It's exciting. I think for me, it's like, it goes back to the whole like, dang, what was on the flow chain, the basketball cards? What was the
Top Shot?
Yes, it's like right back to that, but with the physical goods attached. It's like, yeah, it's very cool.
I also think Top Shot was a little ahead of its time, right? Like,
Yeah,
if Top Shot came out right now, the stuff that would be around that would be really exciting, because there's other infra infrastructure for that, right? Like, but when it came out, it was an innovative enough idea that there wasn't stuff for it to be interoperable with yet, right? And yeah, it's exciting. Like, we're at a time where like stuff is working like it's supposed to have intended to for the last 10 years. So now it's time to really build. And like everything is there for anyone to build now. It's like, what are you waiting for? Let's go build. So yeah, with that, I want to leave
And
us off with our last thoughts. I think Easy, do you want to just rock it out first?
yeah, I mean, just to wrap up on that, this could lend a huge amount of credence to the digital collectible marketplaces, as well as the physical. So this is a massive move, and just stoked to see it. We've been talking about this kind of stuff for years and years. Even if they're possibly using blockchain on the back end, which I would probably are in some manner, NFTs, and being able to have, it sounds like a really successful launch. So yeah, just really join in from the car today and be with you boys, because it's always a great part of the week to get together and have these discussions. And just thanks to anybody that was out listening and jumping in the chat. And next week is going to be a banger, so watch out for that.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I think if we can set ourselves up well next week, I think we might be able to offer folks the ability to get a pods episode just for chatting. So that could be fun too. Maybe we'll do something like that. So for all you folks in there chatting, check out pods.media. Check out that QR code in the top right. I don't know where I am. I don't think I was pointing at it initially. But yeah, we're super excited to just like leverage this tech and play around with it. So we're able to buy our domain just through those pods episodes. So shout out to pods. And yeah, I don't know, B, if you wanted to close this off as well.
For sure. I think along those lines, it's like it's cool to see the biggest, juggernauts in the space, like a GameStop, come in and, take advantage of, the technology and things. But utilizing one of the biggest IPs in the world with Pokemon and et cetera, right? But it is very cool to have, the smaller creators to get started in the space too, right? Like we are taking our podcast and we're uploading the episodes on chain. People are collecting them. We're able to take those proceeds and profits and further invest into what we're doing, right? So it's like all of the small creators. Doesn't have to be the GameStops out there. You don't have to be the GameStop to take advantage of blockchain tech. You can be any creators out there. Anything that you do, you make. If you're a singer, songwriter, whatever, writer, producer, any kind of artist, any kind of creator out there should be dabbling into blockchain. I've been screaming that since the last 3 years. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, if you need help, getting in touch with the tech and finding different places to upload your work and things like that, just tap in with us for sure.
1,000,000%. I couldn't have said it better myself. I think we were all nodding vigorously when you said that. So yeah, just reach out, ask for help, and like don't be afraid to ask dumb questions, because we were all at a place where we were asking dumb questions. I still ask dumb questions every single day. So not being afraid to ask dumb questions is what leads to growth and knowledge. And I'm excited to take that journey with you guys and continue to grow and learn with all the amazing folks in here. We had an awesome, amazing group of chatters today. I saw Yoni chatting in there. I saw a bunch of other folks, Hale in there. We saw Shaw in there. So shout out to all you guys. Let me see.
2 shots. Louis popped in for sure.
Louis popped in as
Yep.
well. That was
Yep.
awesome. Let me see. We had someone else at the beginning, I feel like. But yeah, shout out to all you guys. Oh yeah, Candy popped in on the BetterCallZaal stream as well. I need to figure out a way to like combine the chats, because there is a way to do it. But I don't know how. So we'll get there.
And Young Gray too. Young Gray. First
We'll
one.
get there one day. But
for
now, I think that's all, folks. Episode 13 in the books. We'll see y'all next week with our guest. Peace.
All right, y'all.